What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Frozen Light by Greta Van Fleet, the final song off the album I believe we have to cover, but I may go back and do a lesson on Runway Blues as well. So before we get into anything, I just want to let you guys know that I am not using an amp in this video. I'm actually using the Universal Audio Lion Super Lead 68 Super Lead. It's an amp modeling pedal essentially that Universal Audio just released to mimic vintage plexi sounds, and it does a surprisingly amazing job of it, and I've been thoroughly happy with my purchase of the pedal. And initially I rented it because I wasn't totally sold on the idea, and then just recently purchased it because I was that impressed with it. So I would highly recommend Universal Audio Lion 68 Super Lead pedal. Check it out. Go try one for yourself, see if it's a fit for you. But I know that for myself, being with the Definitive on the side, or actually that's the main thing now, and it's YouTube kind of when I get time. We're going to be touring lots, and I'm going to need something that's more compact and easy to tour with. So highly recommend the Universal Audio Lion 68 Super Lead pedal. And it essentially just replaces your amplifier. So, you don't have to lug around 100 pounds of amp. But I know some of you will still want to play with an amp, and that's totally fair. And some of you have wicked amp setups already. So, and before we get into anything else, I also want to let you guys know, if you're not aware, I am in a band called The Definitive. We have one debut album out. It released in August, so we're coming up on our 1 year mark in a couple of months here on the band. So I would really appreciate if you guys check us out. I'll leave the Instagram and Spotify link down below. Also, this is one of our shirts that we sell with the band. If you guys are interested, feel free to send me a message on Instagram, or send the band a message on Instagram, and we'll get you guys hooked up with one of these shirts, or a black one, which we also have. So without further ado, let's get right into the lesson. Here I'm using my Gibson SG61 reissue with the sideways vibrola. It is not a genuine 61 SG Les Paul, but it does the trick. And then paired with that, like I said, I've got that Universal Audio pedal, and then the only other thing that I'm running for this song is the Electro Harmonix Holy Grail reverb pedal, and that's it, just straight into my computer, my setup. So all of what you were hearing in the cover was just those. And I did forget one pedal. For the pre-chorus, I'm using the Boss Super Shifter pedal just to get that tremolo sound. Oh, and I haven't said it correctly, so I'll show it to you guys when we get to that part. But yeah, so standard tuning here. It's just going to be standard E tuning. And your riff is going to start off with an open E string twice. Just like that. And then a third pluck is your 7th fret A string. And then open A, 5th fret A, 7th fret A, 5th fret D, 4th fret D, 5th fret A, and then open A. So all together. Sorry, I'll try that again. So that's the first part of the riff. Full speed, 3, 4. Now, this next part of the riff, you're going to leave quiet, or like you're leaving silence on the first beat. So 1. So instead of playing the E string twice, where you would have played it the first time, you leave that silent. So you can even just pluck the strings muted, if that helps with your timing. So, same way going into it. So that riff repeats itself the second time, minus that first open E string. And then instead of going to an open A at the end of the riff this time, you're going to an A major chord, but it's an inverted chord. So you're going to start on your 4th fret A string, and then you're barring your 2nd fret D, G, and B. And then if you're brave enough, you can give a little neck bend there, but I don't want to bend it too hard because it'll either throw it out of tune or I don't want to damage the guitar. So right. So that's your intro. Get that part down first. I'm going to change my pedal settings around so I can have it ready for when we get to the pre-chorus, but we'll take a look at the verse in our next clip here. Okay, so before we carry on with the verse here, I just wanted to mention that like all my other lesson videos in the recent history, there will be half of it on YouTube and the full thing on Patreon. This is just something I do to kind of support what I'm doing here and how much time I put into this project for every video, honestly, at this point, because I've now got the microphone and the pedal going straight into my computer, so I have to kind of mix those together to make them sound even so that the guitar is not overpowering my voice. And I've also got the video editing that I'm doing now as well, because I'm shooting with a separate camera rather than just my phone. So full lesson will be on Patreon. If you guys are just looking for the main riff or whatever to jam with your friends, that's totally fine. It'll be here on YouTube. But for anyone looking for the full lesson, I'll leave that Patreon link down below. All right, so getting into this riff, we're in a verse now. So it's essentially the same thing, but there's a couple little twists that are slightly different from the intro. So the first time, like the first line of the verse is, right? So you start the same way. And then the second time, so the second time is a little bit of a different case there. So you start the same way, right, with those octaves, and then you go to a B power chord. So 2nd fret A string, 4th fret D and G, and the strumming here is going to be down, up, down. So on a down, you play the full power chord. On the up, you lift your first finger off that A string. And what I'm actually doing with my second finger here is just lightly placing it on the E string so that if I hit it, it doesn't make any note sounds. It's just dead. Right? So down, up, down. On the up, you're taking your first finger off that 2nd fret, and then on the down, you're putting it back on. And now with your second finger being where it is, it's easy enough to just bring it down one string to your A string and play that 3rd fret, right? And then you play 3rd fret E string, and then 2nd fret E string, and then back into your riff. Sorry, I screwed it up. I'm doing the intro now. So right there, on the 3rd line of the verse, it goes back to the same as it was in the first line. But then on the 4th line, this last little part, it changes up a little bit. So here you're just playing a standard C chord. So 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret D, open G, and 1st fret B string. And you're playing it broken instead of together. So, and there I'm just going down, up on the strings. You can also just go down the whole way. I find it more comfortable. Whatever's more comfortable to alternate, but whatever's more comfortable for you is what you should do. So this next chord, you switch to that. You remember that A major chord with the inversion on it? It's the same chord there. So 4th fret A, 2nd fret bar, D, G, and B. Right? So there's your verse. It goes through twice like that. Now, here we're just going to get right into the pre-chorus, which like I said, I'm using the Boss Super Shifter on the tremolo setting. But You don't have to use a Boss Super Shifter for this one. You can literally go buy a tremolo pedal. I don't know what brands sell them. There may be even an Amazon brand out there that will do the trick for you. You don't have to drop $400 on a pedal just for a pre-chorus of a Greta Van Fleet song. But if you do, then fair enough, and power to you, because tremolo pedals can be fun. But so I'm just making do with a Super Shifter. It has a bit of a tremolo setting, but you do have to hold it down when you use it. So if you want a clicking on tremolo pedal, then you should buy a proper trem pedal. So yeah, this next part here is going to be, it's going to sound like that, right? So that's what your tremolo is. It just adds like a wave to the music. So the first chord you're going to play here is an E minor chord. So you're going to bar your 7th fret from the A string down, and then 9th fret D and G with your 3rd and 4th finger, and then your 2nd finger is on your 8th fret of your B string. And now what I'm doing with my picking here is A string down, D string up, G string down, B string up, and then I go back up to the D string and on a downstroke, upstroke on the G string, and then I take my 2nd finger off and play the 7th fret of the B string. Right? So it's just like playing this chord and taking your finger off. You just kind of repeat it broken. And while you're doing that, you'll either have your tremolo pedal clicked on, or if you're in the same boat as me, you're holding it down. Right? And then the next one you go to is just a D major chord. So 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B, 2nd fret E. And same strumming pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right? And here you're playing D, G, B, E, G, B, E. And again, on that second pass through the E string, you're taking your 2nd finger off and you're playing open E. And then I believe after the first pre-chorus, it just does it once. So just like this. And then it goes right to the chorus. But the second pre-chorus, it does it twice, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, so get those parts down. Make sure you're comfortable with those before you move on. And then once you're comfortable with those, then take a look at the chorus, which we're going to cover in the next clip. Okay, so welcome to the chorus portion of this lesson video. This will also be the last portion that will be on YouTube. So if anyone is looking to get the full lesson, it will be available on my Patreon, linked down below. Yeah, so feel free to check it out there. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into it. You're going to start with this big E, well, not quite full E major chord, but so you're going to play your E power chord, right? So open E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret A and 2nd fret D. And you're going to have your first finger where it would normally be for an E major chord, but you're going to just rest it there again, just muting it. Because then it allows you to play that first 3 strings hard without having to worry about hitting that G string. And then on the second downstroke, you're hitting your B and your E. So then having that G string muted will make sure that, again, you're not having the full E major chord sound out. Just like that. So first one, the thick strings, and then the thin strings. And then after that, you're going to go 2nd fret E string, and then 3rd fret E string, into a full G major chord. So now you're playing a full chord. So the timing here is a little bit tricky. So very quickly after you play that second part of that G chord, you're going to go into open A and second fret A. So it kind of goes to the offbeat there, right? 1. So on that, after that offbeat, you're going to play just an A power chord, second fret, open A, second fret D and G, right? And then you go to your 5th fret D string and hammer onto 7th D, 5th fret D, 9th fret D, and then you go back to your riff that you just repeated again. So this part right here, on a second time through, again, you hammer on the same way you did the first time. And then you go back to your 5th fret. And then 4th fret D, 5th fret D, 4th fret D, 5th fret A, and then your E string, but that's taking place of your bass notes. Right? So this time you play that instead of your E power chord. So let me show you what I mean. So that E string alone takes your bass portion of that 2-strum system that you've been doing, right? And it's cool because it plays with the timing a little bit instead of just repeating the same thing 4 times for a chorus, if that makes any sense. So after that, the third time is the same as the first time. Now the fourth time, you do the same thing again, but then you land on your A power chord and you just stay there. So. And you just hold it for a little bit. And now you go to a D power chord. So that's 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and then open A and D. And then now your 2nd finger goes on the 3rd fret of your A string. Right? So full D power chord. And then that's adding the C. And then back to your A power chord. Right, and then it goes back into another verse. So that concludes the YouTube portion of this lesson. Again, the full thing will be on Patreon. The link will be down below. I appreciate you guys if you go check it out, go support the channel. And it really does help me continue to make things better and a better experience for you guys as viewers, but also a better experience for me as a creator because I have more gear that I have to my advantage now to make better content and streamline the process essentially. So appreciate you guys for checking that out. But if you're just staying on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with anyone else who you think would enjoy this video and benefit from it. And until next time, guys, keep on rocking.